When you think of bucket list activities, this has got to be one of them. I'm here in South Africa with Ford at the Kapama Private Game Reserve. 15,000 hectares housing some of Africa's most magnificent animals. Personally, I'm here to see the big five: the lion, the leopard, the elephant, the buffalo, and hopefully a rhinoceros. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Kapama Private Game Reserve is situated on the Limpopo province in the northeast of South Africa. It occupies an area between the Drakensberg Mountains and the Greater Kruger National Park and covers 150 square kilometres of magnificent South African bushland. You can drive to the reserve from Johannesburg. It's a scenic drive through the province of Mpumalanga, and it takes in the magnificent mountain landscapes and panoramic views. As you drive up the mountain passes onto the high escarpment, expect sweeping vistas of the Lowveld below. At the Strozum Tunnel, roadside stores sell ethnic curios from the area. Kapama Private Game Reserve is a stone's throw away from Eastgate Airport, and that offers guests easy transfers to and from Kapama's lodges. There are daily flights from Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg and regular flights from Cape Town International Airport to Eastgate, which is situated near Hoedspruit. We were at Kapama Private Game Reserve, invited by Ford to experience the African wildlife from the comfort of a Ford Everest. I couldn't think of a better way to take it all in. I've always said that the best way to really get to know your vehicle is to drive it somewhere you usually wouldn't, and this trip takes that advice to the extreme. We have the Everest Platinum on hand, just like the one we have in Australia, and the XLT, which is equivalent to our Trend. The main difference is a few features that are standard in Australia, like auto stop-start and heated and cooled front seats. If you're in the market for a ute-based wagon for off-roading, there are plenty of quality options out there, so why not head over to Drive Marketplace and find the one that suits you. Almost as soon as we arrived in the reserve, we were on the road, or tracks that crisscross the entire area. There are about 6 cars in the convoy, with another 6 taking an alternate route. Usually, you are not allowed to drive your own car around Kapama. However, the lodge provide open-top vehicles to view the wildlife from. The highlight was coming across a fresh lion kill and a pride of lions guarding it. They're terribly difficult to make out at first, but once your eyes adjust, you almost can't believe you didn't notice them earlier. There are dozens of giraffe with their ungainly long necks, but they seem so peaceful as they wrap their tongues around trees metres from the cars. It's an almost elegant dance in complete opposition to their awkward design. Unlike the movies, the zebras here hide well in the scrub, as do the impala and the kudu. No matter the shade, the animals are hard to see, and a seasoned field guide will often catch a glimpse well before any guests. If you're enjoying this video, do me a favour and hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything automotive. The best times to view the animals are early morning and dusk, and we got to experience both peak times by following the normal scheduled Kapama run for their guests. Day 2, and we're heading out of the game park to a nearby mountain called Mariepskop. It's 2,000 metres high. It's going to be pretty cold up there, I imagine, and it's not dissimilar to Mount Kosciuszko, which is about 2,200 metres from sea level. Currently in the reserve where we are right now, that's 500 metres above sea level, so it's going to be a fair transition, and it'll be a good test, I guess, of the car, but also should provide a stunning vista if we can actually get beyond the cloud. It's been very cloudy the last couple of days, and apparently the mountain can at times sit right in the cloud, so it'll be interesting to see how we go and whether we can see much from up there, but I'm looking forward, hopefully, to the view. Mariepskop Nature Reserve sits right in the middle of the Mariepskop Forest Reserve, Mariepskop State Forest and the Blyde River Canyon Nature Reserve. The Blyde River Canyon is the 3rd largest canyon in the world and runs for 26 kilometres and is up to 5 kilometres wide. The mountain sits at 1,947 metres above sea level, surrounded by sheer cliff faces. These cliffs are made up of trees down low, with a vertical rock formation above, not unlike sandstone, which reminded me very much of the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. The road to the top is mostly gravel, except for the last 7 kilometres, which are tarred. On a clear day, the views are spectacular, with Campersis and Hoodsplit spread out below you. We've jumped back into the Platinum model this morning as well, which is of course the V6, my favourite power plant in this particular car. It's always very smooth, and the power is always available. And then the 2 litres, a very good engine as well, and we have been driving that too while we've been in the reserve. But the speeds we're doing are generally less than 30 kilometres an hour, so you're not really getting to truly test the engine as such. But I can tell you what, from here, looking at animals in a game reserve, it's especially comfortable. If you like this kind of great driving, hit the like button and tell us in the comment section what has been your most favourite overseas road trip. In the reserve, the terrain felt like an inland journey through Australia. Red dirt, sometimes hard packed, with sandy stretches that left a few of our Kiwi mates bogged and needing a snatch. We may be terrible at rugby, but at least we can pilot a 4-wheel drive. The scrub too seems not entirely dissimilar to Australia, with low shrubs, grasses and trees. What is evident, should you happen to bump into a tree, is the defence mechanism that they have developed, mostly in the form of long thorns. I managed to brush a tree. I think it's called a wait-a-while in English. Its thorns feature a sharp hook, which is not easy to remove yourself from, hence the name obviously. Going on safari in South Africa is not going to be for everyone, but you will come away with lifelong memories. While the climate is similar and some of the terrain to Australia, we do not have much in the way of the Big Five, and the opportunity to see them in the wild is a bucket list item in itself. The cost to get there and stay at Kapama are not cheap, with a family spa suite starting at $3,155 Australian per night, excluding flights and transfers. Peak season, December-January, is even more expensive. The rates include breakfast, lunch and dinner, 2 daily safaris, a guided bushwalk, selected local and premium drinks, as well as transfers from Hoodsplit Airport for fly-in guests. I would be pretty confident in guaranteeing at least a few of the Big Five, but I cannot guarantee your holiday will start off feeling like Simba sitting on Pride Rock, soaking up the amazing animals and views with the kids, and end with you feeling a little bit more like Timon and Pumbaa, desperately trying to Hakuna Matata your way through the chaos. But it will definitely be worth it. There's probably no better way to experience the African animals than in a Ford Everest, and luckily enough I was happy to see 3 of the Big Five. Got a lion, got an elephant and also a buffalo. Leopard's really hard to spot over here, as was the rhino. We chased one around for about 20 minutes, tracked him, unfortunately couldn't get to see him, but what an experience. And if you ever have the chance to get over here, come over to South Africa, go to a game park and have a drive around. It truly is one of the great experiences of your life. If you are interested in watching a comparison, see the GWM Tank 500 take on the Ford Everest off-road.